Oh my, thank you. Okay, here. Averti, right? Averti.
Averti Professional Managers,
Great.
and then the Bloombox platform.
Yes.
It's the Office Journal on Smooth 98.1.
11 minutes and you are actually 11 o'clock, not 11 minutes. I am just so excited. You're listening to Smooth 98.1. This is 11 o'clock, and you know that every Tuesday from 11 till 11:50, it's about your productivity, it's about your workspace, it's about your career, your path. And today, more like your rest. What you need to do for you to have that rest while you are here and just that quality of life. Not that you're thinking about 10 years' time and you're having palpitations. So that tells you we are talking about retirement. But before then, join us on YouTube. We are streaming live, youtube.com/smooth 981 FM Lagos. That is the YouTube channel, youtube.com/smooth 981 FM Lagos. I would say you subscribe to the YouTube channel because it allows you to get the notifications whenever we go live and share one thing or the other. That can be quite beneficial to you. And then you can also stream live via the website if you want to share this with someone who is not in Lagos, or maybe somebody who is not driving or does not have a radio set. They can listen live to us wherever they are in the world. www.smooth91.fm. Again, www.smooth91.fm. And you can send your messages or questions at any point of the show. WhatsApp line is open. It is 0809 444 Again, 0809 444 How to plan for your retirement. I asked a number of questions on my LinkedIn saying, when do you like to retire? But can you really retire when you want to retire? Because that is an entirely different conversation. So, yes, these are the questions and many more that we will be discussing this morning on Office Journal. And I do have my guest in the studio who I am so excited to have this conversation with. You can call her the retirement planning queen because that's what she is and that's what she does. And she gives you guidance in helping you plan and prepare for your retirement. She is very skilled, over 35 years of experience in these things, from personal finance, financial planning to retirement planning to sales and marketing to customer service and other soft skills. I'm referring to the founder, the Bloombox platform, and the co-founder, Averti Professional Managers. That is Inyang Sami-Orungbe. Good morning.
Good morning, Oluwaseun. I'm so excited to be here. Great to have me here. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me. I am particularly excited about the many insights and the clarity that a lot of people will gain at the end of this session. And that said, a lot of people do have the basic idea of what retirement is, but just to further understand what it entails, because once you hear retirement, what comes to a lot of people's mind is cessation. You're not going to work anymore, you're just staying at home, you are no longer earning anything. So, how would you define retirement really?
All right. So, to me, retirement is coming to that time in your life when you do not have to do anything if you don't want to. Right. So, this is now entirely your choice. For quite a number of people, there is a mandatory age for retirement, and really in Nigeria, there is for different sectors. So, according to the Pension, Reform Act, you can retire from 50. Different organizations have their own definitions as well, 55, 60, and of course, in the academia and judiciary is a bit older. But it's totally up to you. And I'm finding that when I engage the younger demographic, the millennials and all that, who I have as clients, some of them, I find that they're planning to retire a lot earlier. And what they're actually saying then is that they do not have to have a 9 to 5, and they're a bit more flexible with what they do with their time. Not that they'll be totally, jobless. And really, retirement is not signing off completely if you don't want to. I haven't signed off completely. I'm in retirement, and but the idea here is to do things at your pace and do those things that you want to do, as against having a job. For many people, for many years, they have been engaged in a job. So when they come into retirement, and some of them are now looking at really what's my purpose? What's that thing that I would do, even if I wasn't paid for it, that would keep me busy and would have me totally engaged and excited. And once you're able to define your purpose and you come into that, then it really doesn't matter how old you are.
Okay, that is enough clarity on the question I was about to ask. Still, I will ask it. Maybe other insights can come out of it. I was going to ask, what are the factors that influences retirement from for different people? But like I mentioned, you've touched on it. But just in case there are other things.
Some level of preparedness is required, financial preparedness, because really, and I'm finding that that is now quite a major thing, considering where we are in the world right now with inflation and all that. So you do have to have a very good financial resource to fall back on. But aside from that, there are other psychological issues, emotional issues that you need to come to terms with. So now I'm coming to this stage of my life where I'm signing off from 9 to 5. I want to do things at my own pace, but what are the resources I require to be that comfortable doing those things that I want to do? So once I'm able to put those things in place, then I'm ready. And my retirement picture will be different from yours, right? So everybody needs to paint that picture for themselves and define the timing for themselves. Like I said, millennials are looking at retiring at 40, 45. But, people in, much older age brackets are looking to retire when the office asks them to retire. Do
Yeah.
you understand? So there are different, how do I put it? Different timings for different, categories of people. So it's really up to you.
Would you say now, I assume that when a person comes to you, you look at the peculiarities of their life and the circumstances surrounding them. But generally, are there stages or retirement such that you can gradually drop some things, stop some things? Yeah.
Yes, there are. First, there's the pre-retirement stage, and that is when you come into the mindset of, hey, I don't want to be doing what I'm doing right now anymore, so I want to step out of it. So that is when you start to articulate what are your needs for when you are not going into your day job anymore. And this also comes with a lot of planning. And for me, that is when I engage my clients, because I then need to know, what picture have you painted for yourself in retirement? What are you looking to do? Where do you want to live? Who do you want to be hanging out with? What will you be doing from AM to PM? So that is pre-retirement. And you have to wrap your mind around that solidly, right? And then after that, then you come into this period where you're now, disengaged from your day job. And then people call that like the honeymoon stage. I call it the sugar rush stage, because this is the time now where your alarm goes off and you shut it off, and you don't really have to do anything if you don't want to. But guess what? That is also a time that, if not well managed, some people come into some sense of depression, anxiety, that okay now, because I have people that tell me they want to go on a boat cruise once they are done with their day job. Okay, so how long is this boat cruise going to last? Maybe a month, maybe some weeks, but you then come back. And when you come back, you find that as much as you're looking forward to this time, all of a sudden anxiety begins to set in. What will I be doing from AM to PM? There's just so much Netflix or the SCV you can, be doing. So there is that. And then you now come into that time where some people get a bit disillusioned, now they, and that comes from not having planned. That is the disenchantment stage. And you don't necessarily have to go through that stage if you had planned. And so when I find people in that stage, my advice is, listen, let's start talking, because obviously you didn't plan. Because if there was a plan, you won't be so disenchanted and disillusioned. So after that comes a time where you are now a bit more secure, where you are, and then you then come into the stability stage where now you are running smoothly in your retirement, you know what you want to do and all that. So there are those stages, but some of them can be bypassed if you've had a coach to walk you through.
Mm. Coaching definitely makes everything easier, and the
Absolutely.
knowledge that you have helps you to, go through the stages better, or even skip some stages. That is so good to know. So we've got about four stages: the pre-retirement
Yes.
stage, the honeymoon stage, or the sugar rush stage. You've got the
Disenchantment
disenchantment
stage,
stage and
and
the
then there's
stability.
orientation stage,
Ah,
and then
okay.
the stability. The orientation, you're just trying to find your footing, and then you stabilize.
Okay, thank you so much for that. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll get into how you can plan your retirement. Or before that, what happens when you get into active service or you're employed, and for some years your employer is not paying your employee your pension, and some other questions like that. So, how you can properly plan for your retirement. Those are some of the things we'll take after this break. Stay with us on Smooth 98.1.
It's Mr. C, and you're listening to Smooth 98.1.
The biggest reality TV show in Africa is back. Get ready for double wahala as the stars pepper them so they can level up. This season is bigger, louder, and the chances of mega drama is too sure.
Spend lesser time scrubbing with Too Sure dishwashing liquid and enjoy more exciting moments as you tune in this all-star season. Too Sure dishwashing liquid. No be wash.
Every move you make, every serve you breathe, every corner you take, every fighter you meet, every record you beat, we will be following you. Every single jump, every trophy won, every wicket you break, every breakaway you make, every cross, every dribble, every dunk, every pit stop, every loss, every victory, every single sport, we will be watching you.
The Locker Room on the Smooth Breakfast. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8:15.
We will be following you.
If you love your sport, from the Formula One to the football, the basketball, everything sports really, you should never miss Tega on Locker Room every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8:15 till 8:45, right here on Smooth 98.1. But right now it is Office Journal, and every Tuesday from 11 till 11:50 we discuss everything that happens in and outside the office that matter to you, your wellness, your career, and all of that. So this morning we're talking about retirement. After you've earned all the money, what happens? What do you do with it? Or how do you prepare for the future? That's what we're doing this morning. And I do have my special guest in the studio. You can join us via YouTube. It is youtube.com/smooth 91 FM Lagos. She is the retirement planning queen, and she is Inyang Sami-Orungbe. So before the break, I said I had a number of questions to ask you, and I think the one I will start with is, how do you know your retirement needs? I mean, the what you should save up for, how much you should save up, what you should be planning towards your retirement.
Excellent. Okay, so first and I always say that, I mean, even if you're 20 something and retirement is the last thing on your mind, it's important to know that you need to prepare for that stage in your life, and because it's never too early to plan, but it can be too late to plan. So one of the things you have to do is write down your goals. Like I said, paint that picture for yourself. What are the things you would want in your life at that point in your life? And then you start to put money aside, because the planning for retirement when you are much younger is the financial planning, because saving and investing is really important. And why not? Because you have less responsibilities at that stage in your life. So as against, some other things that you could be doing with your money, if you were focused on the fact that that time would come when you would have to drop out of your 9 to 5. So it's important to now prioritize that and begin to, put money aside. So write down your goals, the things you need to do later in life. And it's up to you now to decide whether you want to continue working, how you want to retire, and when you want to retire. So say I'm 30 now and I plan to retire at 60. So I mean I have 30 years for this plan. And a lot can happen in 30 years, which is why starting early is really, really important. So understand your basic financial needs, estimate your retirement withdrawal, and you can do this because most of the PFAs have the pension calendar on their website. So it enables you to sort of gauge how much you're going to come into when you retire, and look at it, is would that be enough to fund these goals that you have set for yourself and this wonderful picture and vision that you have made for yourself for retirement. So it's important to do that, and most likely there would be a gap, which is why the saving and investment comes in, which is why you need to cut down on your expenses, which is why you need to prioritize debt elimination. If you don't need a loan, then there is no need to take it, if you understand what I mean. So, and then of course, remember that there are a lifestyle aspect of retirement. So, like I said, paint the picture, estimate your resources, and understand some things that, for example, medical care costs will be likely higher as you get older. And here you are, your office is, of course, paying for your medical care. When you disengage, you have to take that up yourself. And most likely, you're going to be paying for a lot more at that stage in your life. Plan where you will live. Oh, I mean, of course, we all have this dream of living in those big mansions and all that. No problem. But that time would come. Most likely, when you come into retirement, is also the time that you're likely to be an empty nester. So your children have left home. So why do you want to keep this humongous home that you know you're maintaining? So you start to plan to downsize, right? And then, of course, look at your family relationship management. Who's your next of kin? You know, I mean, because some of us come into employment when we're single, and then maybe you had your sister, your brother as your, NOK, and then years down the line, you never went back to regularize your documentation. So all those things you need to be very cognizant of, and these are the things that I would normally take my clients through. Your important documents, where are they kept? Do you have a will? And Nigerians,
They don't
Africans,
like the
oh
sound.
no, I mean, I can't remember the last time I had an easy conversation with a Nigerian on the issue of will. But you do have to have a will, because what you're saying here is, listen, I'm not in control of the calendar of my life. Anything can happen at any time. And this hard work, all this money I'm saving, I'm putting aside, I want those that I'm saving them for to be the beneficiaries. And if you don't have that in place, then things can get really wonky, and then they are disenfranchised. And you don't want that, So, and for women, I find that the retirement conversation for men and women are different. Oh, absolutely different. Because I don't know, for men are wired to work. So I find that for many guys, the retirement conversation is not something that comes easy to them, because a man struggles a lot after he stops working. After he does not have anything to wake up to do, there's a lot of struggle. A woman can get by. I mean, hey, most of the time she was doing housework, doing this. A woman can be busy from morning till night. Maybe not productive work, but she's busy all the same, So when she comes into retirement, yeah, she can have things doing, right? So her mind is kind of engaged. And I even find women that say, oh, I mean, I have children, I'm going to be busy, going to help them look after my grandchildren and all that. But again, I say, you know what? Omugo is not a retirement plan, so don't even go there. You do have to have things, to do. So there are all those considerations. You must already start engaging your mind, and it helps you prepare for that time. And like I said, the earlier you start, the better.
Thank you so much. We have already gotten into the how of the retirement. I mean, how you can plan for it. In case you are just joining us, we are talking about retirement, and you're listening to Office Journal on Smooth 98.1. And we have talked about what retirement is, the stages of retirement, as well as some other things that can influence your retirement plan. Number one is your goal. What do you want? That is the important thing. And then we have talked about some other things that involves your planning. But the other aspect I would want us to zoom in is retirement savings. The truth is, once people hear retirement, all they think about is savings. Is that the only thing or the only way you can prepare to stash money for yourself for retirement?
That's really important. I mean, say so, especially in the current dispensation we have right now in the world. The financial aspect is very, very important. However, I also have clients who have worked in very, very lucrative jobs. So they have retired on very lofty amounts and they are financially they are very comfortable, but they are struggling. Why? There was no plan. What would I be doing from AM to PM? So I mean, there's even an exercise I sometimes get my clients to do that. What would be my perfect day in retirement? Starting from when you wake up to when you go to sleep. I tell you, people don't know what to do because all their lives, I mean, 30, 20, whatever years have been keyed into working. So they wake up in a place like Lagos is even crazier, where you don't have time for any other thing except,
Right.
deploying yourself to that work and coming back home and sleeping and, going back on the same routine the following day. So what is going to engage you? That is where, for such people, the planning then comes in. So you want to find out what are your passions, what are those things you even feel your job robbed you of doing all
Mm.
those years. Perhaps this is the time to go back to them. I mean, you wake up at 6 a.m. Exactly what would you be doing 7 a.m., 8 and we are that, the itinerary has to be that detailed because people just don't have a plan other outside of their work and they never thought about it. But then I feel you knew you were going to retire anyway. So what was the plan? And that's where sometimes all the story of Omugo comes in and stuff like that. So it's not just financial. As important as financial planning is, it's really important to know what your lifestyle will be like in retirement.
I mean, it's funny and sad as you explained it because it means a person who does not think of work or retirement outside work or the activities they'll be doing means work was literally their life.
Absolutely.
And that is just so sad.
It's never planned that way, but it just turns out that way. And one year rolls into the other and to the other. And it's like that, which is why people also struggle with social contact when they retire. So my advice always is ensure that you have contact outside of your work. Do you understand? Yes, it's true. I mean, I resume my work, my colleagues are my go-to people and all that, but you must intentionally have other places that you can socialize. Never mind the Owambes and all that; those ones are there, they'll come. But I mean, are you a member of a social club? Are you a member of a gym? In your estate, are you some volunteer in your church, in your mosque? Because those activities open you up to other associations so that when you retire and you've lost your colleagues, because apparently statistics show that when you retire you lose about 90% of your contacts.
Interesting.
This is research proven, yes. So, and that tells me that, wow, I mean, so while I'm working, most of those names on my phone, for example, are probably, yes, I mean, maybe vendors, colleagues. I mean, yes, apparently. So when you then retire, you're not seeing them anymore. I mean, if you've made friends at work, it's a bonus, and that is great, but it won't always be like that. So you find that when you retire, you've lost all those people. So who's going to replace them if you had not intentionally made all these plans, to join the other types of, groups so that, yeah, your life can still be engaged because loneliness is real in older age.
Yes,
I don't like the
indeed.
look on your face.
Because I remember some conversations. So there have been situations where I just got into conversations with older people, and they begin to tell you those life lessons, those things I wish I had done. And I was recalling all of that when I had that look on my face. Now, what I would say is for maybe those ones that are already inching closer to maybe compulsory retirement and if not built that social connection, how can they start?
Oh no, that's not a problem at all. I mean, I I always speak from example, I can be your scapegoat, on this on this topic, because it's true, especially when you were working, you know, on very intense job roles. So you truly didn't have time for a lot of other things. So for me, I mean, joining a gym was one, joining a social club was another, getting very busy and active in church was another. On my streets, I try to be a bit, useful and make myself, seem almost indispensable. I hope I am. And then, of course, I mean, I have other groups, I have a sisterhood I'm a part of, and these are very core people in my life. I belong to a group called Niger Startups, right? And I don't know if some of them are listening right now. This is a group of young people, very cerebral, very, intentional about their lives and all that. I find that I gain so much from them, because when you talk about relationship, as an older person, make sure that you engage relationships with the younger generation. They keep you up to date, they keep you refreshed, and they pep you up, so don't just limit your relationship, group to people of your own age. So because you're all oldie oldies anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, so I learn a lot. So this is something I do intentionally to engage younger people, issues with technology, because that's another struggle area for a lot of retirees. Some people had jobs where they had PAs or secretaries that were doing all those administrative stuff for them. So now that they've retired, some people can hardly use their laptop. Some people cannot PowerPoint, Excel. They can't do a spreadsheet because they always had someone do that for them. So now you have to learn those things. And if you haven't retired yet, please engage, be more intentional about learning those things, because now you're going to be booking flights yourself, because your PA won't be booking flights for you anymore. You're going to be checking in yourself at Motella Mohammed, as crazy as that place is. So you have to have the resilience and grit for that for that space, So there's so many things, and I find that I'm realizing that, my God, without tech savviness in today's world, it will be hard. And many older people are in that place where they're not very tech savvy.
I think the phrase that just comes to mind is evolve or die.
That's right.
And it's funny, at the same time crazy, because you look at how some of the mindsets that have been walled up, and in the moment they probably were good for that moment, but then when you just refuse to do away with those mindsets, they'll kill you.
Yeah.
I'll grow old someday.
And nicely so. It's such a beautiful place to be, Oluwaseun.
There are seasons of life.
Yes.
And you just have to prepare for each season, even before it comes.
Yeah, so it's important to engage the digital, honestly. But what I've also learned, I had a session not too long ago, with a younger person, a millennial, and he kind of told me that the struggle that older people have with the digital is that they have issues about losing their prestige. I don't know how to put it. They don't like to look stupid in front of others, and I understand it totally. So before you get to that stage, try to embrace all these things, because there's nobody that's going to check in for you, when you travel. I mean, I just came back from a trip, and I mean, everywhere I went, it's self-checkout. So I mean, in Nigeria, it's easy to call Ajo, mommy, come, help me do this. Abroad, you can't do that.
Sure.
And many of us have travel as part of the things we want to do when we travel. So we have to get into that mind space where we understand what it would take.
I feel like one person I should have in the studio discuss part of this, it would be lovely to have both of you talk about this, is Mr. Soji Oyawoye.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he has been able to break the barrier of time with his generation, because I remember
Totally.
the first time he was here, we did a TikTok video, and I thought, wait, what? Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir. That's SOJ for you.
All right, we're going to short break now. And when we come back, we'll be telling you more how you can plan for your retirement and those practical tips that are just good for you. I think you should be able to look at your life with the tips that have been shared and mirror your next line of actions. Thank you for being there. Please stay with us and then enjoy what we have for you on Smooth 98.1. I could never forget. Please help me open the door. I could never forget that
people,
day.
I'm super
Wow.
excited and I can't wait
Okay,
to
you're almost 60. How are you able to be fluid with the younger generation? And
so much
He
better.
works with
So
them,
much
so
more
he
fun
has to
and
get
so
into their mind
much more
space
exciting
to be
than
able
we've
to operate.
ever experienced before.
So I don't even joke with
I'm ready to go
engaging
on a
with
trip
the
abroad.
younger
Or if
generation.
summer
I
for
don't
you
joke with
is a
that.
chilled vacation
I've
at
learned
home,
to speak their
shopping, or
language,
even gaming
but I
online.
find that
Turn
they
up those
really
speakers of
help me
yours
to
so you can
sail
catch this
through,
news I'm about to
you know,
share
that
with you.
digital
And if summer
space,
holiday
where
isn't
the
your
world
thing at
is
all, you
going.
still
Because
need
my
to
age
listen
mates won't
to
tell me.
this new
They
video.
are there.
Now, this
So,
summer,
you know, having
Visa
those
is going to
conversations
spoil
with
you with
them,
an offer.
I'm very
Offers
intentional
galore,
about
that's
it
just the
because
way to describe it.
I have
I'm
three
talking about
millennials as children,
exclusive
so
offers, discounts, and so many
Yeah.
they really keep me on my
over
toes.
300 merchants all
And
over
it's
the world,
so
as well as
part
so
of what
much
I
more
said
other
that is
exciting
sad
Visa
is
card
you
benefits. Now,
you look
listen,
at how,
with your
in
Visa
fact,
card,
before
you get
retirement, you look at how
comprehensive
people
travel insurance,
lose
you can
touch
relax
with
in
their
style for your
children
trips.
Yes.
because
Ends
you're
of over
stuck in your time
1,200.
and
Yes,
age.
Yes.
1,200
And I've
premium
seen that, and
Yeah.
it just
lounges
breaks my heart.
worldwide.
That's
You
so
also
true.
get to enjoy exclusive
Because I mean, they
offers
get
on
tired
hotel
of trying
bookings, you
to
get to save
come
on
back
incredible restaurant
Yeah.
discounts.
They
Also,
want to
get to
pull you
indulge
up,
in
or you are
season
resisting.
deals online
Just
and
leave
in
me.
store. You also
Come
get
and
to
help
enjoy
me do
car
that. I mean, I
rental
have
deals. I could
classmates.
go on and on
You know,
and
and I
on
sent you an
listing
email.
all
We
of
agreed
them
that we're going to do
because with
something. We
Visa,
sent emails.
there
and
is so
you've not
much more
responded.
for everybody.
You sent
All
email,
of
and
these exciting
okay.
offers
When the
and these
children come back,
benefits
I'll
at
tell them to open it for me. Oh no, don't
Let me take that
don't
one more
do
time.
that.
Visa.com.
I'm as mundane as that.
If you
Email.
don't have a Visa card,
Then you're
going to
talking
miss out
about being on
all
social
of these
media.
exciting
Oh
news
no, on
from
TikTok.
Visa. So,
Excuse
what are you
me.
waiting for?
Way
Head
off.
over to your
Way
bank
off. So
today
to
ask
them, it's
for your
just
Visa card,
something for
and
the
don't
younger
forget once
generation.
again to visit
Well, it's just so
visa.com.ng
nice to
find
blend
out
into
more.
all the different worlds, and life is just life is richer.
It can be beautiful when we make it beautiful, actually.
True. True. Okay. So we're gonna talk about a bit of money now.
Yes.
It's great because it's a challenge.
I hope you have enjoyed the conversation as much as I have. And you can be a part of it. It's not too late. It's 32 minutes past 11 o'clock. You're listening to Office Journal on Smooth 98.1. We have been talking extensively about retirement, not just the money aspect, the social, the mental, and every other thing that you should get together if you're looking at retiring. Actually, one point or the other, you will retire. And that, I think, should be the first reality or the fact that you need to face and accept. That said, my guest is Inyang Sami-Orungbe, and she is the founder of Bloombox platform as well as the co-founder of Averti Professional Managers. Now, money is important. We cannot shy away from that. So let's come back to money and how you can stay financially afloat during your retirement, maybe even earn passively.
Thank you for that. And this is really, really important and relevant. So like I said, good retirement, it just doesn't happen. You
Yes.
do have to have stashed up some finances to enable, this wonderful picture that you've painted for your warm winter years, I prefer to call them. So first, I think you should develop a comprehensive picture of your finances, right? What is likely to come to you when you retire? I imagine that, most of us are on the um, retirement planning scheme that PENCOM has put in place. It's compulsory for organizations, and if your organization has not subscribed, you are at liberty to report your organization to PENCOM because it is your right. Okay, so that is there, which is, your employer contributes some, and then you contribute some, and then it goes into an account that is in your name, and it goes through life with you until you retire. But we find that not many people can achieve that lump sum that would then deliver a good life in retirement. Because how do you stay afloat? Inflation is a thriving thief, so how do you deal with that? So there has to be a plan. Okay, first I think you should prepare a budget because that will give you clarity. What do you have, or what are you likely to have against what your anticipated expenses would be? What sort of margin are you getting? Is it positive or is it negative? And trust me, every single time I've done this with clients, most people have a deficit margin. So there has to be some way of augmenting, your income. So you already have to start thinking of ways you can supplement, your income in retirement because your pensions won't cut it, right? So are you invested in real estate, for example, where you're going to be earning something from it? I mean, what I find people do now, and not bad at all, even though I think there should be some discernment on it, is you know you can rip off your real estate investment, come into an off plan. At some point you can sell off and make some good money, because the important thing is to make clean money. This is not the time to start, going into areas that you are not comfortable with or you don't understand. I always say, if you don't understand what is happening, you have no business putting your money behind it. If it's not a regulated industry as well, you have no business putting your money behind it, because if the bubble bursts, then you've lost everything. And God forbid that you do that in your older age when you can't even earn so much. So you have to have a plan in place to supplement your income in retirement. Some of the things I find people doing now are really interesting, because I advocate that if you can, do something that can earn you in foreign currency. And that's possible now with virtual work. I mean, I have friends who are content writers, ghost writers. Some people are doing, virtual assistant work in retirement. Some people are doing customer service or customer support work in retirement remotely.
Interesting.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And they are earning in foreign exchange, because that is better than earning in Naira right now. Um, I think it's likely to get better. We pray, fingers crossed, as they say. But you should have something, if you can, that earns you in foreign exchange. It helps a lot because there's more stability, with those currencies than ours right now. Also, if you can, I mean, things like, you're talking about passive income. That car that is in a good condition, that's maybe inherited from the organization and all that, you can put it to Uber use, right? If you have a good driver, I mean, that's income coming in without you necessarily lifting a finger, except, making sure that the car is serviced and all that. And if you have a responsible person, you know, another thing, I talked about downsizing when you come into retirement. Well, maybe one of the things you want to do is remodel your home if it's in a good location and you feel you can earn good money on Airbnb from remodeling it and having some part of it, to do that. So then that also is something you can be supervising and all that, and it's earning you income. So the idea is to, stir up your mind, find out what can I do to augment my income stream in retirement, because your pension may not cut it with the way inflation is going right now, most likely not. But even if it is, there shockers could come along the way. God forbid, health challenges. Oof. And that has happened with a lot of people, and which is where we talk about emergency fund, that if you have that in place, then it's able to cushion that, aspect of expenditure. That car, God forbid, that engine knocks, not anticipated, and that's not the time for you to go and unwind any investment to now, fix it or buy a new car. So if you have an emergency fund in place, low income, low interest earning, but it's just there for in case something happens. And of course, there's always insurance, because we must ensure that all our assets are insured. The last thing you want to do is use your pension funds to replace a lost asset. So insure your home against fire, insure your cars, any other assets you have should be insured. So that, and don't worry about the premium. We say that, oh my God, the premium is so high. But then if this happens, we pray that it doesn't happen. Just pay the premium anyway. We know that's something you're going to do. It's the same way you subscribe to an HMO. you're not hoping to fall ill all the time, but what we're saying is if you do fall ill, then you know you can walk into a hospital without having the fear of the sort of bill that is going to hit you.
Thank you so much. We are gradually drawing to the end of the show, and time really did fly by very fast as expected, because whenever the conversation is good, the time does not wait. So this is a part where you can start sending in your WhatsApp messages, no calls for now, just WhatsApp messages for today. You can send them to 0809 Again, 0809 That's the WhatsApp message line. Just make sure that you include your name and your location as you are sending in the message. Maybe your comment or your questions, most importantly. You can send them to the WhatsApp line. We'll take our final break, and when we come back, I'd like you to say a word about those who plan on making their children their retirement plan. Yeah, when we come back after the break, you're listening to Smooth 98.1. We'll be right back. That that one.
Oh, that one.
Connection is very important.
It's man. I don't even know what's wrong with us.
Whether na for inside house or for
Them, all
outside,
these
just buy
youngsters,
router for
the
10,000 naira
sacrifice I
or
made.
20,000 naira only
Okay.
to enjoy 30 gigabytes and 100 gigabytes above data, or MiFi for 5,000 naira and 7,500 naira.
It came to my mind as you were talking about
Amugo.
Yeah.
Instant.
And how really that's the plan of the number of
Go
people. That's the plan.
www.airtel.com.ng/HBB today to arrange your own.
Airtel.
You know how we're busy with the Mungo. No, you won't be busy.
Press
That's
1
not
for
what
all
I'm
your
gonna do.
entertainment stories.
Retirement years.
The rumors, the big stories. Spice up your day with some entertainment on the Smooth Breakfast Show.
One of the greatest, ain't no debate, no.
We've got your top trending stories from the entertainment scene on the front burner. It's movies, fashion, music, and everything
It's an
in
interesting
between.
job you have, Oluwaseun.
Tune in
Yeah,
to the
you got to talk
grapevine
about
and keep up with the
Yes,
smooth
I
Because of
agree.
your
frequency
I agree, actually.
Yes.
with
I
the
agree. I
latest
get
in
to
the
learn
world
a
of
lot.
entertainment.
A lot. Thank you.
It's all on the grapevine every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 a.m.
You know that every weekday, if you're not listening to Locker Room from Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you get to listen to Grapevine every Tuesday and Thursday, 8:15 till 8:45, and that's all about the entertainment and catching you up to all the juicy gists and gossips happening all around the world. But right now, it is Office Journal on Smooth 98.1, 42 minutes past 11 o'clock. And we are almost at the end of the show. If you have anything to say, now or forever hold your peace. Send it to WhatsApp 0809 So we've been talking a lot about retirement, and I dare say I have gotten more clarity and will be more intentional about it myself. That said, I said I would like you to say a word or just maybe change the mind of someone who is planning on making their children their retirement plan.
It's very interesting that you should bring that up, Oluwaseun, because I get it a lot in workshops that I run and from clients. Your children cannot be your retirement plan because, one, they are grappling with their own lives as well. I mean, just as it's not easy for most people right now, it's not easy for them. Some of them have started families, they have their own financial responsibilities. So to hope to now add you to this, I think is a bit unfair. Also, as the parents, if you had a plan in place, then your children could not possibly have been your retirement plan. I mean, what were you planning to do yourself? And I think this is a question that children too should ask their parents. I mean, and I speak as a parent here with no apologies, because if you had a plan for your retirement, your children cannot be the ones you're hoping to fund your lifestyle in retirement. Understand that where they are in life, they are just growing. You were there once. So imagine if somebody, lodged themselves into your life then. But I would say this though, that even as I'm saying this, I know people have told me that no, but our age bracket, which is mine, we sort of had a lot more sense of responsibility towards our parents. Yes, but we're not funding their lifestyle. were augmenting. We felt a sense of duty, and I still feel that children too should feel that sense of duty to look out for their parents, but not to take on their lives, solely and fully like that. They can't. Honestly, even if they wanted to, they can't. But this struggle is is real, as they say. And I find, a lot of fathers, in my workshops would, want to really drag, on this conversation. Do you know how much I spent educating them? Do you know the sacrifices I made? Yes, sir, we do. We can, appreciate that. But how much do you think they are earning? Because sometimes we don't know how much they are earning, and it's a good place to start. How much are they earning? So if they're earning this much, they've married, they're paying rent, they have cars, they have to service, yeah. So where do you come in? How much can they give you that would then really help, to stabilize you in retirement? So what I tell parents is plan your retirement outside of your children. What I tell the younger folks is ensure that you have a strong sense of responsibility towards your parents to look out for them, come in when they need help, not that you take on, their total financial, responsibility. So there's a balance there, but I think that if you had a plan in place, then that this wouldn't be a conversation.
Thank you so much. And with that, we've come to the end of the show for today. Okay, what would be your final words, reminder, I think you will iterate and reiterate, as well as your final recommendations?
Thanks, Oluwaseun. So one, ensure that you have kicked off a very good and solid financial plan towards your retirement. Also, anticipate the fact that you're coming to a stage in life where life can be lonely. Make sure that you're already working intentionally to ensure that, you have other associations out of your business, out of your work, people that, you can engage with and all that. Be intentional about building relationships. Build up, build down, build at your level. Also ensure that you are able to survive in the digital world, because nothing is static now. Even as you were talking about TikTok, and I'm sure maybe in another few months something else is going to come.
Yeah.
I'm not on TikTok. I don't have to be, but I'm just saying that be very digitally savvy, because that is where the world is now, and the world is not waiting for you. And I find that every moment you delay in embracing that, the gap gets wider, and then you get more scared about bridging that gap. So, catch on with it now and do what you can.
Especially with the advent of AI.
There
You
you
can't
go.
even imagine
There
what
you
the
go.
world will be like in the next 5 years. So
Exactly.
please, and please be careful. Soji from Isolo Road says, thanks so much for this topic. It's an eye opener. Well, you are very welcome. And of course, we say a huge thank you to you for your time, your presence, for sharing this thing with us. I mean, we should okay, let me not shoot myself in the foot. I was about to say we should pay for this, but this is free information, valuable information that you have shared with us, and we appreciate it. Now, to
Thank
keep
you.
up with you and maybe to check out more of the content and what you share on social media, how can people do that?
Oh yes, thank you for that. Yes, I'm on Instagram at the Bloombox platform. Also Sami-Orungbe, one word, on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn as Inyang Sami-Orungbe. I'm on the thread as Bloombox platform and Sami-Orungbe. So I would really love to engage with you all, and I give a lot of retirement tips and nuggets, and you can engage me if you need my services as a retirement coach. Thank you.
Now I feel old. I'm not even on thread. I'm not.
I am.
Okay, well, I will. I'll try not to get old by myself. Thank you again. We'll save this video for you on YouTube so that you can go back to it and share it with people, not just people, your family, your friends, the people you care about. Tell them so that they do not get to the bridge and start thinking of how to jump it or cross it. You know how we say when we get to the bridge, we cross it. Not with retirement. No, you have to
No.
prepare for the bridge before you get there. So yes, we'll save the video for you on YouTube and you can go back to it. And for those who have our WhatsApp contact saved, we'll share it our WhatsApp status so that you can easily go there and replay the video and watch it. Thank you again. On the other side, it will be more soul music right here on Strictly Soul. And then before I say the final bye to you on Smooth 98.1.